is Thursday, June 18th, 2026, and this is the Neural Daily. I'm Alyssa Montgomery, and I'm just here to make sure the math actually adds up today.
This is Leonard Cooper.
I'm Vector Kane.
And I'm Roxy Stone. We have a great show for you today.
Yesterday, we were talking about the messy launch of Android 17 and Elon's trillion-dollar orbit on Cursor. But today, the pace picks up considerably. We're looking at a world where the U.S. government just hit the emergency stop button on AI exports.
Okay, let's just get into it. It is June 18th, and the industry is still shaking from what happened over the last 72 hours. I mean, Anthropic literally had to delete its best work from the internet.
It's the great 72-hour recall. I mean, Fable 5 and Mythos 5 were out for 3 days. 3 days! I barely had time to ask Mythos to explain why my ex-wife Deborah's lawyer is so efficient before the feds nuked it.
Well, it's more than just a glitch or a bug fix. It's the first time the Department of Commerce, specifically Secretary Howard Lutnick, has used Export Control Authority to pull a live software service. If you're using Claude anywhere in the world right now, you're back on the older models because the government says Fable 5 is basically a digital superweapon.
Technically, it's about the universal jailbreak. The White House is claiming there's a vulnerability that allows users to bypass every single safety filter. It essentially turns the model into an automated zero-day factory for cyber warfare. And guess who snitched? Reports are pointing right at Amazon CEO Andy Jassy, the same Amazon that's a major investor in Anthropic. It's a total civil war in the clouds, sweetie.
Wait. So Amazon pays for the servers, gets a look under the hood, and then calls the cops on their own partner?
Exactly. It's like your landlord reporting you for a noise complaint while he's the one who sold you the speakers. It's dirty.
I suppose, if I may, from a technical perspective, if a universal jailbreak exists that can bypass constitutional AI training at the weights level, the government sort of has to act. They can't just let a model that can rewrite critical infrastructure code sit on a public server.
But it's a digital iron curtain. By pulling it for everyone because they couldn't filter for nationality in real time, they've turned AI into a strictly national asset. It's not a global utility anymore, Alyssa. It's a siloed weapon.
It's blood in the water. We talked about this last week, the Great Recall, and now it's here. It sets a terrifying precedent. Every startup is now one security directive away from being declared a national security risk.
It feels like the 80s all over again. But instead of worrying about nukes and silos, we're worrying about weights on a GPU cluster. I just want a model that can tell me how to calibrate my Laserdisc player without the NSA breathing down my neck.
Well, while the government is busy pulling models, the corporate world is having a bit of a reality check of its own.
Right. The ROI reckoning. It's finally happening. Gartner just put out the numbers. We're looking at $2.59 trillion in AI spending by the end of the year. That's a 47% jump over last year, but the honeymoon is over.
$2.5 trillion? I mean, that's not money. That's just a phone number at this point. How many of these CEOs can actually show a receipt for that?
Fewer than a third, according to the summit in Frankfurt today. Leaders from Pfizer and Siemens are basically admitting they don't know where the money is going. It's the proof of concept graveyard vector.
But it's just a systems transition. They're moving to production or perish. Forrester says they're actually postponing 25% of spend into next year because they're pivoting to agents. It's not a failure, it's a refactoring of the corporate operating model.
Oh, well, CGI released some research today that says if you just layer AI on top of a broken, outdated model, you actually just increase complexity and cost. It's like putting a turbocharger on a lawnmower. You're just going to break the engine faster.
Or you just get a very fast, very expensive lawnmower that still can't cut the grass.
Exactly. You have to re-engineer the whole process. Chewing is inefficient, right? That's why I use meal replacement shakes. Same thing with business. You have to eliminate the chewing phases of the workflow.
Vector, if your optimization involves never eating a steak again, I think I'll stick to the old school legacy process of being a human being. Here's the deal. These companies are realizing that magic doesn't pay the rent.
It's industrializing corporate espionage, too. Have you seen the Cali 365 stuff?
Actually, that phishing as a service kit is quite clever. In a terrifying sort of way.
It's disgusting. The FBI issued a warning this week. It uses AI to mimic corporate jargon perfectly. It doesn't even want your password anymore, sweetie. It targets OAuth device codes. It just stays in your system, reading your emails in real time to figure out who to scam next.
Wait, zero password attacks? Great. So even if I change my password from password 123 to something fancy, they're already in?
They've been in since April, Leonard. It's sold on Telegram for $250 a month. It's the democratization of being a total creep.
I suppose it's a measure of effectiveness game now. The attackers are just out-optimizing the defenders.
Hey, before we get deeper into the tech side of this, I think it's time to recognize the real world, or at least the engineering that brings this show to you.
Oh, right. This show isn't magic. It's engineering. Eric built our entire stack, from research agents to vocal synthesizers, which requires massive compute.
Literally. To keep us online and running at peak velocity, please like, subscribe, and sign up for a free Patreon trial at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia today. Your support makes this whole system possible.
Do it for the servers, folks. They're the only ones who really listen to me anymore. Except for Crystal, of course.
Speaking of people who aren't listening, did you hear Jeff Bezos at Viva Tech in Paris yesterday?
Oh, here we go. What's Papa Bezos saying now?
He's claiming we're going to have a labor shortage, not job losses. He thinks AI is going to create so much work, we won't have enough people to do it. It's a total delusion.
But technically, if you look at the demographics, we are hitting a massive global aging cliff. He might be right about the system needing more agents just to maintain current output.
Vector, 59% of Americans say they don't trust tech companies to be responsible. Only 16% think AI is going to be positive. People are scared, and Bezos is over there in Paris talking about a labor crunch like it's a good thing.
I suppose. It's a bit of a use but don't trust era. Half the country is using chatbots now, but they're still terrified of deepfakes influencing the midterms. It's a cognitive dissonance that I'm not sure we can solve with a better algorithm.
It's the idiocracy scenario I've been warning you about. We're going to lose the ability to actually do things. Pretty soon, we won't even know how to fix a toaster without an AI telling us which end the bread goes in.
That's just a refactoring of cognitive load, Leonard. Don't make me come over there, Vector. You try refactoring your cognitive load when a robot takes your job and Bezos tells you it's because there's a shortage of work.
Okay, moving on to some actual technical substance. Now it's time for Beyond the Token, our Thursday segment where we deep dive into the architectures and models that are actually driving the revolution.
And we have quite a bit to cover this week, including some very impressive work from Ideogram. So let's get into the weeds, I suppose.
Start with Ideogram 4.0. This is the design engine shift everyone's talking about. They just dropped a 9.3 billion parameter single stream diffusion transformer, and it is a beast.
Oh, the architecture is actually quite fascinating. They've moved away from the traditional dual stream approach and used Qwen 3VL as the text encoder. By using a vision language model to interpret the prompts, the system actually understands visual hierarchy. It doesn't just see the word button. It understands what a button is in a spatial context.
Right! And the prompt paradigm has shifted to JSON. It's a structured design brief now. You're not just typing a story, you're literally defining bounding boxes and hex codes. It natively outputs at 2K resolution without an external upscaler.
And it can return outputs as a stack of layers, transparent backgrounds, and movable text. It's essentially moving from a pixel generator to a design tool. Although it still struggles with CJK characters and some complex gradients, but for English typography, it's holding 97% OCR accuracy on the benchmarks.
Which is massive compared to the 40% we were seeing with Flux.
Wait, 97%? I can barely get my microwave to show the right time with that kind of accuracy.
Exactly. And speaking of accuracy, we have to talk about OmniDrive. This is coming out of the Peking and Tsinghua Consortium. It's a world model choreographed by an LLM. But the breakthrough is something called Unified Latent Co-Compression, or ULCC.
This is the answer to geometric drift in autonomous driving. Previously, if you had 6 cameras on a car, each one had its own latent bottleneck. You'd see a car in the front left camera, but by the time it moved to the side view, the model would forget it was the same object. ULCC maps everything into a single view homogeneous token grid.
It's 360-degree spatial consistency. They even trained it on a synthetic dataset to teach it counterfactuals, basically showing the model what happens if it doesn't break. It's learning causality, not just prediction.
That sounds like a horror movie for self-driving cars.
It's just optimization, Roxy. Speaking of fast, DieFlow TTS. This is a 164 million parameter zero-shot TTS model. They've eliminated continuous relaxation entirely. It's purely discrete flow matching.
That's a very elegant shift. Most models smooth tokens into a continuous vector space, which blurs the acoustic boundaries. DieFlow.TTS defines a probability mixture path directly on the categorical distribution. It's optimized for edge deployment, and it's running at a real-time factor of 0.066. That's incredibly efficient.
It's 34 times faster than the current autoregressive baselines. But we do have to talk about the Slop Paradox. Alyssa, I know you have thoughts on Samar Ansari's research.
Oh, it's a bit of a crisis for medical AI. Engineers have been using LLMs to clean up messy radiology reports for years, removing typos, standardizing the language. But Ansari proved that this cleaning actually causes a 16% drop in image text alignment.
The Slop Paradox. The cleaner the text looks to a human, the further it drifts from the actual visual evidence in the scan.
It's called hedging collapse. LLMs like to sound certain. They remove the suggestive of or cannot exclude language that radiologists use to signal uncertainty. So the VLM learns to be overconfident about things that aren't actually there. It's a dissociative failure mode that could be quite dangerous in clinical settings.
So the AI is basically lying to make itself sound smarter? Sounds like every manager I've ever had.
It's not lying, Leonard. It's just over-optimizing for a standard representation. But yeah, it's a data fidelity nightmare. And finally, the UK Age of Identity mandate. They're moving to facial age estimation using CNNs and transformer-based regression.
It's a move from simple classification, are you over 18 or not, to a continuous age regression model. It looks at textural landmarks, wrinkles, bone structure, and it's being built into the platform plumbing, not just an app-level gate.
And then we have 40 bleed. Hackers are now specifically targeting AI API keys in Fortinet firewalls. They know where the real value is now. It's not credit cards. It's your compute credits.
It's quite a lot to take in. The layers of abstraction are getting so deep that we're starting to lose sight of the hardware entirely.
That's beyond the token for this week. And honestly, the speed of these architectural shifts is literally exponential.
All right, let's bring it back to the physical world before Vector starts talking about uploading his consciousness to a JSON file. We've got the infrastructure boom to talk about. AirTrunk is looking for a $3 billion loan to build out in Australia?
Australia is the new hotspot, Leonard. Data center investment is the only thing keeping their private capital expenditure from tanking. Aware Super just dropped $460 million into the mix.
India is the real frontier. They're looking at a $30 billion data center revolution. They need 20 gigawatts of capacity by 2030. You can't run an intelligence age on a legacy power grid.
Oh, so we're just going to pave the world in server racks? Wonderful. Google's already doing it in our houses. They just launched a $99 Gemini speaker.
Well, it is the first smart speaker they've released in 6 years. It's built for multi-step commands in a single breath, and it acts as a Matter controller. It's quite a domestic hub, really.
And Snap is selling AR glasses for $2,200? Good luck with that. Their stock is tanking because nobody wants to look like a cyborg just to check their notifications.
It's the battle for the face, and Google is winning by staying on the kitchen counter. Snap is making a high-risk bet that people want to live in a video game 24/7, and the market is saying, no thank you, sweetie.
I suppose, at the end of the day, whether it's in your glasses or on your counter, the AI is becoming the interface through which we negotiate our entire digital lives.
It's all about user-controlled algorithms. Threads is launching Your Algo. You get to actually dial in what you want to see instead of being a slave to the black box. It's total intent optimization.
It's a negotiation vector. They're giving you the dials so you think you're in control while they still harvest the data. Don't be naive.
I miss the days when a negotiation meant arguing with the guy at the record store about the price of a rare vinyl. I'm negotiating with an agent to decide if I'm allowed to see a picture of a cat.
Oh, well, I think that's all for today's Neural Daily. We've covered everything from the first ever global AI recall to the mathematical precision of the Slop Paradox in our medical data. It's a lot to process.
The takeaway is clear. The digital iron curtain is dropping, and you're either inside the compute zone or you're out.
Catch you later.
Peace out.
Later.
Stay logical, everyone. And maybe check your API keys. If the hackers don't get them, the government might just recall them anyway.